The video was only 11 seconds long. No one knew who uploaded it. No name, no caption, just grainy security camera footage from a quiet suburban street. A man stood on his front lawn holding a cardboard sign. Across the road, curtains shifted. A porch light flickered. Then the man slowly turned the sign toward the camera. The footage cut before anyone could read the whole message. By sunrise, the video had spread through neighborhood group chats. People zoomed in frame by frame, trying to decipher the blurred words. But what unsettled everyone wasn't the sign. It was the expression on the man's face. He didn't look angry, he looked terrified, and 3 days later, he vanished. Daniel Hopper wasn't the kind of person who attracted attention. He worked long hours, paid his bills on time, waved politely to neighbors, and spent most weekends fixing things around the house he shared with his wife, Emily. From the outside, their life looked ordinary, comfortable, even the kind of marriage people pointed to when discussing stability. They had no children, no public arguments, no dramatic social media posts, nothing that hinted at trouble brewing beneath the surface. But sometimes the quietest homes hide the loudest secrets. And Daniel had started noticing things he couldn't explain. At first, it was small. Emily suddenly protecting her phone, conversations ending when he entered a room, excuses that sounded rehearsed. Then came the neighbor, Ryan Walker, friendly, charming, the kind of man everyone trusted immediately. Ryan lived only 2 houses away and had become strangely involved in their lives. He stopped by frequently, borrowed tools he never really needed, found reasons to speak with Emily whenever Daniel wasn't around. None of it was enough to prove anything, yet every instinct Daniel had was telling him that something was wrong. The suspicion grew slowly, like a crack spreading through glass. Daniel hated himself for watching, for wondering, for checking details that never mattered before. But once doubt enters a relationship, it changes the way every moment feels. A late reply becomes a question, a smile becomes evidence, a silence becomes a warning. He told himself he was imagining things. He wanted to be wrong, desperately, because the alternative meant the person he trusted most might be living an entirely different life behind closed doors. One evening, while cleaning the garage, Daniel found something unusual, a receipt crumpled inside Emily's car. It showed dinner for 2 at a restaurant she claimed she'd never visited. The date matched a night she told him she was helping a friend through a family emergency. Daniel stared at the paper for a long time. It wasn't proof, but it wasn't nothing. And from that moment on, he began paying closer attention than ever before. Weeks later, Daniel finally saw something he couldn't ignore. Returning home early from work, he noticed Ryan's truck parked near the end of the street. That alone meant nothing, but then he saw Emily step out of Ryan's vehicle. They didn't notice him watching from a distance. Ryan touched her hand. Emily smiled, the kind of smile Daniel hadn't seen directed at him in months. Before leaving, Ryan leaned closer and whispered something that made her laugh. Neil never confronted her that night. Instead, he sat across from her at dinner, pretending everything was normal. Every movement felt surreal. Emily talked about grocery shopping, about television shows, about ordinary things. Daniel listened while a storm raged silently inside him. He wanted to ask the question, wanted to demand the truth, but fear held him back, because once spoken aloud, some questions can never be taken back. The confrontation finally happened after Daniel discovered hundreds of deleted messages recovered from an old cloud backup. There they were, conversations stretching back months, flirtation, secret meetings, promises, intimate details no husband ever wants to read. The evidence left little room for doubt. Emily and Ryan were having an affair. Daniel spent hours staring at the screen, rereading the messages until the words lost meaning. Betrayal doesn't always arrive with shouting and tears. Sometimes it arrives quietly, in glowing text on a screen. When Daniel confronted Emily, her reaction shocked him. She didn't deny it. She didn't cry. She didn't beg forgiveness. Instead, she looked exhausted, as if she'd been waiting for the moment to arrive. The conversation lasted for hours. Voices rose. Accusations flew. Pain surfaced from years of buried frustrations. By the time it ended, neither of them recognized the marriage they once thought they had. Something fundamental had broken, and both of them knew it. Most people expected Daniel to leave quietly, but humiliation has a way of changing people. The affair became public after Daniel posted screenshots online and distributed copies throughout the neighborhood. The message was simple. He wanted everyone to know what had happened. Friends, neighbors, co-workers, no more secrets, no more lies. Within days, the entire community was talking about Emily and Ryan. Some sympathized with Daniel, others thought he'd gone too far. The attention hit Ryan especially hard. His reputation suffered almost overnight. People who once greeted him warmly now avoided eye contact. Invitations disappeared. Conversations stopped. Yet something about Ryan's reaction seemed unusual. Instead of defending himself, he withdrew completely. Curtains remained closed. Lights stayed off. It was as though he was hiding from something far worse than public embarrassment. Then strange events began occurring around Daniel's house. Objects moved. Doors opened unexpectedly. Anonymous notes appeared in his mailbox. None contained direct threats, just cryptic messages, short sentences that made little sense on their own. You should have left it alone. Some truths are dangerous. Ask her about the basement. Daniel initially assumed Ryan was trying to intimidate him. It seemed obvious. But Emily's reaction unsettled him. When he mentioned the notes, all color drained from her face. For a brief moment, she looked genuinely frightened. Not guilty, not angry, frightened. Daniel noticed it immediately. Before he could ask why, she brushed the conversation aside and changed the subject. Yet that expression lingered in his mind, because it wasn't the face of someone worried about exposure. It was the face of someone afraid a secret was about to emerge. The deeper Daniel dug, the stranger everything became. He learned that Ryan's wife hadn't simply moved away years earlier, as neighbors believed. Records showed she vanished suddenly, no forwarding address, no public explanation. The disappearance had generated rumors, but never enough evidence for authorities to investigate seriously. Most people eventually forgot about it. Daniel didn't. The discovery connected itself to the anonymous notes in ways he couldn't explain. One evening, he approached Ryan directly. Witnesses later described the encounter as tense but brief. Ryan appeared nervous from the moment Daniel arrived. According to one neighbor, Ryan repeatedly glanced toward his own house while speaking, as if worried someone was listening. Before Daniel left, Ryan reportedly said something strange, for words that would haunt investigators later. "She's lying to you." Then he walked away. 3 days later, Daniel disappeared. His car remained in the driveway. His wallet sat on the kitchen counter. His phone was found near a wooded trail outside town. There were no signs of struggle, no witnesses, no explanation. News spread quickly. The same neighbors who had followed the affair now found themselves consumed by a far darker mystery. Police initially considered voluntary disappearance, but those theories collapsed almost immediately. Daniel had left behind too much. Then investigators discovered the voicemail. The recording lasted only seconds. Daniel sounded breathless, terrified. He told a friend that he had finally learned what Ryan meant. He claimed the affair wasn't the real secret, it was only a distraction. Before he could explain further, the message ended abruptly with a loud metallic sound followed by silence. Detectives replayed the recording countless times. The missing answer seemed trapped somewhere inside those final seconds. The breakthrough came from a contractor hired years earlier to renovate Ryan's property. After seeing media coverage of Daniel's disappearance, he contacted authorities. During renovations, he had noticed something odd beneath Ryan's basement floor. At the time, he assumed it was old construction work and thought nothing of it. But the memory never fully left him. Investigators obtained a warrant and began digging. What they uncovered shocked the entire town. Beneath layers of concrete was evidence connected to Ryan's missing wife. Forensic testing confirmed it. The woman neighbors believed had simply left was never gone at all. She had died years earlier. Ryan was arrested immediately. Headlines exploded. Everyone believed the mystery was solved. A cheating neighbor exposed as a killer. A husband silenced after getting too close to the truth. But Daniel was still missing, and one question remained unanswered. If Ryan had been in custody when new evidence emerged regarding Daniel's disappearance, then who had taken Daniel? The answer came from Emily. Faced with mounting evidence, she finally told investigators everything. The affair had been real, but not for the reasons everyone assumed. Months before Daniel discovered the relationship, Emily had learned the truth about Ryan's wife. Ryan confessed during what began as an emotional friendship. He was unraveling under the weight of guilt and paranoia. Terrified someone would eventually find out, Emily became trapped in a web of manipulation, secrets, and fear. The affair wasn't merely betrayal, it was her attempt to stay close to a man she believed was dangerous enough to kill. But Daniel never knew that part. When he publicly exposed them, Ryan panicked, certain that Daniel would eventually uncover the older crime. Ryan arranged a meeting under the pretense of telling him everything. During the confrontation, near an abandoned property, Ryan attacked him. The struggle ended tragically. Daniel died before authorities ever learned where he was. Ryan concealed the evidence, believing the affair would remain the focus of everyone's attention. What he didn't realize was that his own buried secret was already beginning to surface. The scandal he thought would protect him ultimately destroyed him. The neighborhood eventually returned to normal. At least on the surface. Houses were sold. Families moved away. New residents arrived without knowing the history hidden beneath the quiet streets. The viral video faded from memory. The headlines disappeared. The conversations stopped. But those who lived there during that time still remember. The man standing on his lawn holding a cardboard sign, trying to expose a betrayal he believed was the worst thing happening around him. He was wrong. Because the affair wasn't the darkest secret on that street. It was the thing hiding the body beneath it. And sometimes the truth isn't buried to stay hidden from the police. Sometimes it's buried because someone is terrified you'll start asking the right questions.